Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. It is the 15th of July, and okay, we're kind of in an interesting spot here. We're actually having a little bit of an up move. I'm wondering, I think there's probably some information here that I'm not aware of because it was not taken off like this when I was looking. I do know we're just at the charts. Let's look at the charts. Oh, you know what? Here, I got this cumulative delta up here working. I got the inventory thing working, and I think I can come in here and add this and get a longer term line. And I'm wondering, is that line going to be down there at that 3,200? Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so interesting. Very interesting. Anyways. Oh, where is it? Way over here. Okay. So yesterday there was yesterday we were coming off of, really reeling from that huge move down that we had on Monday. So Tuesday we were expecting to see some continuation, but then I kind of thought, well, we're just in the range, maybe we'll bounce here. So we did. We came back up to the top of the range. And then after the market closed, Moderna knows vaccine, and we got a really big gap up. Okay, I don't know if they're going to try and retrace that gap and come back to the weekly open, but here we are. We're higher. Problem. We're at some long-term resistance. So, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about the up move. I do think, of course, the market's going to move up on Moderna's. The other thing that was interesting was that I was hearing about it way back in here. Way back in here, I was hearing vaccine stuff. And then they came out with like another headline. It was kind of like, it was news that it did produce antibodies, but they're like dripping it. So like this news is obviously manipulated. No question about it in my mind. Anyways, Treasuries yesterday saw a pretty big move up. And then, towards the end of the day when things got moving up, in the E-mini, they gave it up again. And now we're a little bit lower. Okay. Treasuries are just getting killed right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they come down here to like 138, 139. Yeah. Well, when let's say 139. What about oil? Oil doing better as well. Oil tracking the E-mini fairly well. Gold had a spike up and then reversal, which is kind of interesting. We come back here to the footprint. The actual overnight amounts are pretty low. 5,000 up here at the top. So that's interesting. And there again is our little market making node thing. So 32.24. Kind of the other side of this range here. Come back to the main chart. Turn on text to speech here. Okay. A couple of other things we should cover. Goldman Sachs, did do quite well. That should be expected because the trading has been good and Goldman does the best when they are trading. So, Goldman up. Let's see here. What else do we have on the earnings calendar today? Oh, United Health. Oh, US Bank Corp. I don't think that one has happened yet. Progressive Bank of New York Mellon. And then after the markets, we got Sleep Number, Their Technologies, Sierra Metals, bunch of people I've never heard of. Oh, Alcoa. Okay, we got Alcoa. We had Alcoa. Let's check them. Alcoa earnings. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So it's after the bell. Wait, did I read that? Oh, it is. Yeah, it's after the bell. Okay, so after the bell, we got Alcoa and Sleep Number. Are the big ones after. Okay. Anyways, good morning, Win. Where have you been? Where have you been? Man, it's been almost a week, hasn't it? I can see the book is kind of got all of their offers out looking for a new high. Sorry, I'm starting a little late again today. I don't know. Oh yeah, and I even missed the news. We did have import prices negative 3.8% and manufacturing sales 10.7 versus expected 9.5. So import prices a little bit higher than expected, but the market doesn't seem to care. Well, and I don't see any like auctions or anything like that. Oh, I missed New York Empire State Manufacturing Index 17.2 versus 10, so that was good. Not amazing or anything, but good. And we do get manufacturing numbers in about 45 minutes. And let's see here. It's Wednesday, right? Oh, we got the Fed Beige book today. Ah, yes, yes. So I'm not seeing a whole lot to move us this morning, and we had such a big up move.
Winston's mom says my wonky keyboard has kept me quiet, for a change. My new Chromebook should be here in a day or two.
Oh, okay. I got it. You watch on your phone, and then you just type in, or thumbs aren't fast enough. Yeah. No, I'm not sure if we really have a whole lot of reason to move. So it's going to be interesting because I think that people are going to be really interested in trading today, but there's not a whole lot of reason to drive it. And because the bulls on the vaccine and the coronavirus numbers did so well yesterday, I don't know. I mean, I do see that it looks like these guys bought at 3,200 and are just gonna hold it there. But man, so I think I need to make a change to my indicator here because uh I can't tell whether at a certain point it was net buying or net selling by the market makers. Hmm. Well, so that's interesting. I do see though that there was all this action back here at like 32-27 area. So This could be. I don't know, man. I see a potential. I don't want to call it a disaster. I see turbulent seas ahead.
Winston's
Retail
mom says the
traders.
vaccine or the possibility of a new vaccine should be greatly received. I think the market might be enthusiastic today.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is that there's been this news of the vaccine all day yesterday too, right? I'm a little uncertain how far a vaccine should really be able to move up the market. You know what I mean? Like on a short-term basis, it almost always causes a buy. But on a kind of a more of a midterm level, is like, isn't there like a upside cap to stuff like that? Doesn't a vaccine just mean that the economy can return back to normal more than anything? You know? And if we're like close to the highs, now how does that one make sense? I think the thing that we're gonna see though, because I mean you're right that the vaccine news will be greatly received, but it's kind of been out there. Okay. So we have to sit down and ask, okay, has the market moved up enough from that? Well, it's a pretty good move up. But that's why I'm saying I'm a little concerned about rotation. So like I think that people might take this opportunity to move into a different set of names. Does that make sense? So you might, if you're just trying to swing and if you're just trying to, buy it and hold it all day, that it might be difficult. It's probably going to be all over the place. Hmm. Well, anyways, I haven't checked out Twitter here yet, so let's do that. Just stuff about Russia, Oxford COVID-19 vaccine showing positive signs. Rand Squawk posting a picture of helicopter Ben. U.S. import prices jumped most in 8 years in June. Talked about that. Inflation is knocking on the door. This is something that I think is going to concern the market. In fact, it might be giving us a good opportunity in the treasuries. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's see here. I have market replay on this one. So why don't we add the inventory to this chart and see what happens? Ah, ooh, 6. Interesting. Got something stuck in my teeth. What the heck? Cat Turd is posting a podcast link. Oh, it's a podcast talking about him. Never mind. I thought maybe he was starting a podcast, and I'm like, what? This guy. If you don't know who Cat Turd is, he's a far right conservative troll on Twitter. Probably the most successful conservative troll on Twitter, and he says funny stuff. He says funny stuff. That's mostly the value that he brings. Okay, so we got a couple of. Well, we've been getting a ton of comments lately. Oh, this is all spam. There's this guy. I get these comments on videos. Like there'll be a comment and like a bunch of replies to it. And it's a scam, and there will be like an email in it and stuff. It's a scam. Deleted. Mm-mm. Oh, was I reading? Did read them before, right?
Winston's mom says the vaccine or the possibility of a new vaccine should be greatly received. I think the market might be enthusiastic today.
We did read it. I want to see if this comes back to 06. Here in the 10-year. In fact, add this to the 30 as well. What do we get? It's way out there. 16. Of course. Of course. Of course it's at 16. It's interesting, though, that it ends up being at, like, you wouldn't know from the volume profile. Okay, something just happened there in the 5-year, I think, the uptick. Looks like they were getting a push down and they were able to recover that and then absorbed quite a few contracts into it. So it looks like they're trying to pull it back a little bit. Goldman shares jump, blah, 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 blah. We should check. We should open up Thinkorswim. This is the thing, even though Goldman is up, they've been struggling lately, as have all of the banks, and they're still quite far back from where they were, a year ago or whatever. Oh yes, you know what I'm missing? Need the news squawk. Okay, now I'm connected to that. Okay, so Tesla is a little bit higher than it was yesterday, but still kind of struggling. So we're going to see what's going to happen. There's been this like significant call activity in Tesla, like at the open, to try and cause panic bidding. And yesterday they were saying that it occurred again, but the price sold off anyways. So maybe they catch it on. Let's see Goldman here now. Okay. So I'm getting. I did not realize the Federal Reserve's Harker is speaking at the moment. He is saying he's skeptical that we'll see a good jobs report in July and that he's revising his economic outlook because of infection spike. So we're at 224 right now in Goldman, I think, which is above kind of this longer term resistance that we've had. but I don't know. Oh, I want to drag it, but clicking and dragging doesn't do anything in Thinkorswim. It's like the controls are totally different. You notice that they've been doing well around earnings? Well, not over here, but ever since David Solomon took charge, they've been doing well around earnings. And this day they're going to be up. Well, if they could get back up to... No, I think that they've been back further than that. Let's see if we go like a weekly with a 3-year. Yeah, that's right. See, they were up at 27 at one point. So this is kind of this like 24, 25 area where it's like it's really hard. And then look, they just got destroyed during the pandemic. Like just absolutely. I didn't realize that they went lower than this, but of course they did. They actually almost went all the way back to where I got in. So that's crazy. So where does that put our options trade in?
Winston's mom says, would you please repeat the name you mentioned? Sounded like you said Cat Turk. I want to go Googling.
No, Cat Turd. It's CATTURD2 on Twitter. I believe that's his handle, right? Yeah, CATTURD2 on Twitter is the guy. And I'm warning you, he is like extreme far right troll, and he has a lot of offensive material on his Twitter. But we watch him because he gives a really good kind of looking glass into the way that the far right activists online are behaving at the time. Well, I was looking to see the
Winston's
treasury
mom
move
says
up a
Cat
little
Turd
there.
too.
And it
There
did
is
not
another
happen.
turd. Lol.
Yeah, I think that he had another account that got banned or something. I was hoping that we were going to come back to 06, but we came up short of it, and now we're down 2 ticks. Because I wanted to, I was thinking about shorting it. I think with the inflation rising, that selling the treasury makes more sense. Because now the Federal Reserve is stuck. You keep all of the extraordinary monetary stimulus. It hurts the dollar. You start to get inflation. You remove the monetary stimulus to deal with inflation, and you're raising rates in an extremely vulnerable time. So they're kind of in a rough spot right now at the Federal Reserve, I think. Okay, so kind of interesting that the E-mini is clicking around in this manner when where you know they're clicking around when the news was that Fed's Harker is skeptical we'll see a good jobs report in July. Goldman Sachs Group, 6 beats by the DJ. What? But why is that the headline of the report? The amount of money that Goldman made here is really the thing is I expected Goldman always does well. They're the most they have the most exposure to trading. So if there's a lot of trading and there's been a lot of trading, Goldman does well. No question about it. But it was the amount is really quite stunning. It was like 50% higher. Some of these were 70% higher. Even their investment banking did well. And investment banking isn't necessarily their thing. That's kind of been more Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan's. They're really the trading and the fixed income trading. And they did well. Okay, well, the Treasury ticked down there. The 04 is kind of looking like it's not interested. 2 and 21 1/4 in the 5-year. Looks fairly balanced. They're teetering back and forth there. Let's check any of our traders on Twitter saying anything. There's 2 dimensions to Fed QE. Quantity and duration on the former 1.2 trillion in Q2 Treasury buying is far above previous QE programs, but the Fed is far behind Operation Twist 1.0 and 2.0 on the duration of Treasuries. Where we are now is mostly about quantities and creating fiscal space. Larry Cermak. Volatility hits lows not seen since March 2019. The aggregate traded volume is tracking a massive beating. The average daily volume for Bitcoin is down 23% in July so far and down 57% from May when the halving was happening. We're not, it's not time to flip the Bitcoin over yet, is it? It's getting close though. Oh, it's time to roll over oil though. I'm wondering if the guys in Bitcoin are stuck if we're gonna start seeing some liquidation soon. Because it really has been quite dead over there. Okay, anyways. Oh, so here's an interesting thought from that Patrick Rooney retweets. From Bespoke, Goldman trading revenues topped forecasts by 52%. So much for needing a trading floor for everyone to be on. I got to tell you, the Goldman Sachs trading floor is something else because they got that building over in their new building kind of downtown on the riverside, and it's a pretty big building. You go and you look at it. When you see pictures of New York from the New Jersey side, you can tell which building is Goldman Sachs. They always have the lights on. That was one of the things was when they had the power outage and they showed the picture of the city. Goldman Sachs had its lights on, and but the thing that's really astounding is that they pack those guys in there like sardines. Like it's like you get a desk that's like 4 feet of desk, and then the next guy is like right next to you. There's no cubicle separation or anything like that. It's just like this huge open floor, like literally just like 2,000 people or something like that packed onto one floor in this huge skyscraper. It's crazy, and yeah, and the floor is crazy because there's so many phones always ringing off the hooks. So yeah, it is kind of interesting they spent so much money on that floor. But then it doesn't matter if they're using it or not. They still make the money when the trading is happening. The White House distances itself from trade advisor Navarro over op-ed trashing Fauci. Really? Wait, what? The Peter Navarro op-ed didn't go through the normal White House clearance process and is the opinion of Peter alone. The tweet underscores the disarray as the White House and some officials publicly criticize Fauci, who is a member of the coronavirus task force guiding the administration's decision making amid the pandemic. I think that guy should not be out talking. I'm not saying that he's bad at his job, but he is clearly not good at talking to the media. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, is that how you say her name? on Monday denied that there was opposition research being disseminated about Fauci or that there was a rift between the doctor and President Trump. See, this is the issue with me not watching cable news anymore, is that I don't know how to say anybody's name. Dr. So the quote from Navarro was Dr. Anthony Fauci has a good bedside manner with the public, but he has been wrong about everything I have interacted with him on, Navarro wrote. Navarro cited Fauci's past comments on the use of masks, the need for Americans to alter their everyday lives, and hydrochloroquine. Well, those aren't the things that bother me, to be honest. It's kind of the little things that bother me with Fauci. It's little things that is like the way that he presents stuff and everything. It just kind of sounds to me like he's not saying it because this is the important thing that the public needs to know or anything like that. Oh, is the 10-year gonna drag us down? That 04 was looking a little weak. Let's see here. Dan Scavino, Deputy Chief of Staff for Communications, shared a cartoon on his Facebook page late Sunday that depicted Fauci as a faucet, flushing the U.S. economy down the drain with overzealous health guidance to slow the spread of the pandemic. Interesting. Okay. Well, it was an interesting story. Okay, 04 goes offer. Wonder if the seller will dump here. Sorry, if the buyer will dump here. Again, that would be something. The equity market is still looking kind of is still pushing and looking kind of bullish, even though we're off of the most recent high and it's looking slow. But the treasuries certainly seem to be reading it because look at them tick down that. Okay. Oh well, and there they take 03 half like it's nothing. Well, they didn't tick into 03, but so the problem with a situation like this is that when the treasuries tick down, sometimes they just go without warning. Like you're expecting, okay, there'd be some people trying to hold it here, there'd be some imbalance, this, that, and the other. No, 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 no. They'll just tick down and they'll tick down like it doesn't take any orders to go down. When it's going down, it's different. When it's going down, it just kind of falls. And it can be surprising because you're sitting here looking for like some icebergs and this other stuff, but I've actually found that it's when you get down there and you don't see that sort of stuff that kind of makes it move. Because like, well, they traded 21.23 at 04, but now here at 03 half, when they traded down, it didn't take a whole lot for them to clear it. Of course, it's ticked back up, but when they initially traded through it and it went offer, it didn't take a lot of contracts, did it? So that's kind of the sort of thing I see in the 10-year that makes me concerned about it going down. Senator Lindsey Graham, I want to help you if you've lost your job, but you shouldn't be paid more in unemployment than you do at work. This is almost certainly going to be in the next bill. People moving from NASDAQ volume experts to vaccine experts again. Zero Hedge says shadow bank weakness forced Fed's market rescue. Zero Hedge, click on that one. Now Goldman is up 4% pre-market. Yay, I own them. A lot of dollar weakness today too, by the way. I didn't mention, but the dollar did lose the 96. They're below 96 now. Let's see here. American voters, this is Hu Xishan. American voters this year have to choose between two candidates. Both are in their 70s. This is a tragedy of American democracy. Energy decreases with age. These two old men cannot be the best candidate for U.S. presidency, but the U.S. system cannot select the most suitable people. Wait, who? How much is... Xi Jinping is 67 years old. Okay. What? And Donald Trump is how old exactly? I know he's younger than Biden. 74. Oh, okay. So he's got about 7 years on him, right? Yep, 7 years on him. That's funny. Well, whatever. Oh yeah. So I missed this one. Advisor says Kanye West no longer trying to run for president. He's out. So this is exactly what I said, right? He's just on a whim saying, "Hey, I should run for president," and then he's actually going to see what it actually takes to run for president. He's going to go, "Oh, yeah, I can't. I'm not actually running." JP Morgan's fixed income traders generated 7.3 billion in revenue in the second quarter, a figure so high that even if the equities trading group had generated nothing, the bank still would have set a record for total trading revenue. Okay. Well, we are going to get those numbers here in 10 minutes. I don't know if that's really a big deal, but okay. Now the E-mini is trading back down. Fed Squirrels says shadow bank weakness forced the Fed's market. No, maybe Quarles is saying something that's causing them to go down, but I haven't heard what it is yet. But that was a pretty good move. Perhaps just a pullback, but really, Richard Nixon came surprisingly close to implementing a universal basic income. No way. Nixon? Hmm. Well, Nixon, the funny thing about Nixon is that Nixon actually was a pretty progressive Republican. Is there something happening on oil? Oh, it is definitely oil. Okay, I think something happened here in oil. Okay. Zero hedge oil prices stumble on OPEC plus output increase headlines. Oh. That could be why the E-mini is going down. So question, do the guys at '06 bail? Okay, New York reporting COVID-19 cases, 821 new cases. So I think that here in the E-mini that the market makers probably getting screwed there. I don't know if this means they pull back and then they can go higher, or if you get continuation. Okay, so they trade a few into '06, but then '05 half went offer again.
Kevin Wimmer says Joe what happened, went to take a shower and big drops in crude and amini.
Yeah, Kevin, there's some headlines coming through that the OPEC Plus is going to increase output. I think that this was already kind of rumored, but they seem to be. Yeah.
Kevin Wimmer says so. They released the news right with the US crude open? Looked like a long trend day so far.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of interesting, right? Because I'm looking here. They were up. They were up. And now they're down a good 50 cents in the oil. But the thing that's curious, it seems to me like the E-mini cares about this more than they normally would news and oil, isn't it? And I'm wondering if they're thinking, is this part of this squeeze out the U.S. producers still sort of a thing? You know what I mean? Okay, so let's get this capacity utilization number in manufacturing production. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. That's the wrong one. Okay. So the numbers look good. The numbers look good, but not much of a reaction to it. Dang, I should have just sold 06. Did not like the way that went down. I
Kenny Desmet
should have
says,
just
yo,
sold
what if you short all
06.
the stocks from the companies that work on a corona vaccine? Only one will go up, right? And all the others will go down, tongue out. Kenny Desmet says sometimes my intelligence is almost frightening.
I so what you could do is you could short a vaccine company and buy Moderna to have a hedge in case there's some sort of a larger move down in the markets. But I'm not so sure that any outright short on healthcare companies is a good idea. Damn it. So mad. I'm so mad. I missed that one. I put out I put out my order at 06 half because I thought maybe I would get filled, and nope. Nope. That's so disappointing, guys.
Kenny Desmet says why Moderna? I am looking into Novavax.
Because they're the one that got the vaccine. The one that they're reporting on yesterday, right? Plus, I'm pretty sure that the winner was already chosen. Let me search. Because now you got me questioning myself. Okay, maybe not. I see that they narrowed it down to 5. Moderna, AstraZeneca, Pfizer. Come on, that's not all of them. Johnson & Johnson and Merrick. So why Novavax? Maybe they're in the lead for another country or something? Zoom unveils a $599 all-in-one home communications device with a 27-inch screen, preloaded Zoom software, 8 microphones, and 3 wide-angle cameras. Okay. Why would you need like multiple microphones and stuff? Oh, no, the microphones make sense, but the 3 wide-angle cameras, that doesn't make sense to me. Well, whatever. Watch them film me and go right through me. Clicky click. Has a big old order stacked on the bid there at 04. Yeah, now 05 is going to do this balanced thing. Look. In other words, 06, too good of a price for Seth to have now.
Kenny Desmet says well because the US government gave $1.6 billion to Novavax and I think that they wouldn't do that if they don't know something already or don't think that NVAX has potential.
I don't know. I do see that they were awarded a pretty big contract. But the news that was moving the market yesterday was Moderna. They're the ones that I've seen the most talk about a vaccine with. So I thought that they were the ones that the vaccine was going to go to, but maybe I'm wrong. Apparently, the situation is more complicated than I thought. I could have gotten filled maybe even at 06 half if I had just had my limit order out there the whole time, but I wasn't too sure about how far this was going to go. I certainly had some. I certainly had a good idea of where it was going to go to, though, didn't I? Marketeer tweeted 13 minutes ago, "Is Buffett still waiting to buy the dip?" A bunch of comments off of it. What are they saying? Nope. He is waiting for the Fed to run out of money to restore back his lender of last resort role. Yeah, that might be that's probably a really good point, actually. Is that the way that he makes money, he's not really being given any good deals, so he just has to sit on his hands. He's going to let the market go up another 3,000 points before he makes his next purchase. That's funny. I wouldn't count him out. I mean, I think that based off of the way that Warren Buffett trades, that he's doing the right thing. You're not getting a good deal, then you don't buy. Okay, it looks like the E-mini turning down again. You know, for them to be selling off here, granted, I don't know how big of a deal the oil news is, but I think that E-mini is up pretty good. E-mini is up pretty good clip from where it was opened on the overnight session, and so it wouldn't surprise me at all to see them come back to like the 32.11 area. Actually, it'd be more like 32.14 to be exact. Okay. Bunch of bids pulled there. The giant Yangtze River used to represent 60% of China's fish supply, and now it's almost zero. Malwarebyte says I need to restart my computer, apparently. We'll do that after the stream. China Defense Ministry, U.S. should stop arms sale to Taiwan. Sure, you'd love that. Okay, well, this time I'm gonna... Yep, it is. The OPEC panel ministers are all aligned to ease oil production cuts. The U.S. arms sale violates China-U.S. joint communique. I'm not familiar with that, and I don't care. Oh, Seth, you hate China too much, I think. I don't hate. I really like Chinese people. I need to learn more Chinese. That's what I need to be doing. Seth, you've been slacking. You've been slacking on your Chinese learning. Okay, 06 goes bid. Oh yeah, did you hear by the way that what is his name? Barry Moore won against Jeff Sessions in the Alabama primary. So that's interesting happenings. I don't know about this. Is OPEC easing cuts really that big of a hit to the E-mini? I guess we're just down like 10 points. So that's not the end of the world, but at the moment to me it seems like such a and like that the market is like really reacting to it. You know what I mean? Somebody pulled 500 at 06. Hmm. No. Somebody responded to me on Twitter. That's cool. Another big clicky click.
Winston's
They're
mom says
looking
Google is the
active in the
second
E-mini
large
there.
Silicon Valley tech company to buy a stake in geo platforms after Facebook. Speculator Seth, what do you think about this?
GIO platforms. What is that? I've never heard of them. India's Reliance Geo platforms. Oh. India's largest mobile network operator, Geo, and other digital businesses of Reliance. Okay, I get you. So, here's what I would say about the only thing that I can really say about that is that right now, though, we're seeing a global realignment against China. That Western countries are trying to pull themselves out of China and not rely on China as much. I'm going to take this one too if they give it to me. And part of that is going to be building a stronger alliance with India because the largest regional competitor to China that we have a possibility of forging alliances with is India. So it makes sense that a lot of people would be getting in there and starting to invest in it. I don't know what if they have any applications or anything. I tried an Indian TikTok like app, but there wasn't any interesting content on it for me, unfortunately. So I quickly deleted it. But wouldn't be surprised if hey, you know what? Like the biggest TikTok competitor ends up being an Indian company. It wouldn't surprise me because they love TikTok over there in India, probably more than they do in the United States. Okay, so the first impulse move in the E-mini is down, of course. Uh, Delta wise, it's not incredibly significant, but that also they might not necessarily be done. I do see a little bit of absorption there. I need to 12. Okay. I'm just noticing that my newer indicator is doesn't show treasury prices correctly, which is super annoying. Need to go fix that one. Okay, now the bulls are trying.
Uzi Knesset says gotta normalize those tick values tongue out.
Gotta normalize. Yeah, do you see? So let me show you, Uzi. I was waiting for you to come in before I really focused on this. But do you see the line on my treasury charts down at the bottom, the blue line? That is that cost basis indicator they were talking about yesterday on a full session basis. So the reason why I was interested in this area was because it was part of their cost basis from where they bought at the beginning of the session. They never quite made it in the 30 year, because in the 30 year, the spot was 16.
Uzi Knesset says that's pretty neat, bro.
Yeah. If you message me, I forget what your username was on Discord, but if you message me, I'll pass it over. The thing is I don't know if it works correct, if it's 100% accurate. I fixed a couple of bugs in it last night. So the bug that was preventing us from seeing it yesterday is if you get a situation where like only one price trades for that time period, then that's why it was breaking. Because then you ended up getting equal amount, and then you were trying to divide by 0. So that's why that was happening. So I fixed that. Okay, so they tried the upside. They didn't get very far. Now they're trying the downside. The downside extended by a tick, but that is also going very slowly as well. So it's still a battle
Uzi
over
Knesset says I
meaning.
could work with it. You're a professional coder though, so your shit is probably much cleaner than mine. Now that I avoid best practices or anything, but you know more what you're doing, lol.
Jay
Yeah,
Constance says good morning there. Everything is looking very good, right? Even Bitcoin.
I don't know about. Well, I haven't looked at their chart over there for a bit. They're still at 92. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about Bitcoin, Jay Constant, just because the trading volume is just not there right now. It really feels to me like a lot of people got in on that whole halvening thing, and it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? So I think that there's still a couple of people stuck on that. I don't know if that necessarily means that they have to bust below 9,000, but it does mean that there's some fuel if it ever
Air
decides to
Cages
do it.
says did somebody say Bitcoin?
Oh, there you guys have been here. You've just been quietly listening this whole time, man. All these weeks because I haven't talked about Bitcoin and all I needed to do was
Uzi Knesset says I'll get around to messaging you in Discord. It wants me to
oh
verify
yeah.
my phone number and shit.
Yeah, you have to verify your phone number now because we get so many
Jay
spammers
Constance
over
says
there.
just joined.
We get so many spammers in Discord. So I put it to the highest level of spam protection, which is you have to verify your phone number. But hey, it's helped a lot since we did that. It's helped a lot, and some of the people that have been like harassing the channel and things like that disappeared too off of that because it's hard for them to create alt accounts, I guess. So I'm happy with it. It's reduced the growth. There's not as many new people join, but hey, that's fine.
Jay Constance says SP pumping.
SP pumping.
Uzi Knesset says my phone number on the internet though, eek.
I know. I understand. I understand. So they're still pushing down. Okay, so the treasuries are very much moving in lockstep with the E-mini. The E-mini is testing lower. So like I said, wouldn't be surprised to see them come back to that 3211 area because it really was quite a big move overnight. That doesn't mean that they couldn't come back up and buy. This is just kind of, I mean, I didn't know that they were going to sell on the open, continue down on the open, but now that they're doing it, it's kind of like all in line with expectations. So let's just kind of let them do their thing and see what happens.
Uzi Knesset says with programming, while I'm not a trained professional, I am unusually good at debugging though lol, I get that at least.
Yeah.
Air Cages says I'm on vacation. No trades for me until summer is over. Still holding my TSLA though. Don't be mad, Seth.
And I'll hold my put. I'll hold my put. So yeah, Uzi, I wouldn't I don't know. The main reason I want you to look at it is just have the indicator and see what it does. And you know, we're looking for ideas on what we can do to improve it. So one thing that I think that I should add is right now it just shows you what the price cost basis is. It doesn't show you the number of contracts that create that basis. So yeah. Um I'm asking the guy that posted all that stuff if it's okay for me to post it because he did post a lot of information out there, and I don't know if he necessarily wants like an indicator there too. So I'm asking him
J
about that
Constant
first.
says altcoins are pumping for months now. Some are up 1000%.
I need to with him and maybe other people on Futures.io confirm that it's working correctly. Once I do that, then I can try and figure out if there's a more efficient way of doing it. But if I'm going to go and make a more efficient way of doing it, I need something to compare against to make sure that it still works. You know what I mean?
Air Cages says which coins besides Link?
Some altcoins, well, the whole Ethereum space has been doing really well, right? You're right. It's like the interest in Bitcoin itself is just gone. Okay, so the spoos are
Uzi Knesset says
trying
off, I
to
did it lol.
dig out of
J
the hole now.
Constant says I have 0 crypto and 0 stocks.
Oh, sweet. Hey, cutie. I love you, man. Okay, let me give it to you here. I'm just gonna give you the CS file, okay?
Air Cages says J Constant that's the way to do it, brother.
Uzi Knesset says Roger Dodger.
Where is it? Oh, it's gonna be to make sure I'm sorted by. Well, let's just do it by day modified. There it is.
Gary Rich says get money all day, get money all night, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay.
That doesn't sound familiar. What is that from? Arena de Blanco? Never heard of it. I have to watch that later.
J Constant says I don't have debt but don't have extra money to invest unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd just save. Tesla is planning 3-month factory shutdown for upgrades. The Fremont factory. Oh, please.
Air Cages says, why is sports betting so much easier than day trading?
Is it? I would think that sports betting would be incredibly difficult just because, the market expectations would be pricing. Well, maybe not. Maybe your chances of getting an unusual move is maybe a little bit higher in sports betting. I don't know. Is it really that? I know that it's popular, or it has been popular.
Uzi Knesset says got it.
Sweet. So you're familiar with the whole thing that when you copy something over into your own indicators folder, that you should that NinjaTrader should detect it and recompile, and you hear a little doo doo sound when that it's compiled, and then it'll show up. And if it doesn't, then you just open up the editor window and click compile. And it should go under NinjaTrader bin custom indicators.
Jay Constant says, I sold all my crypto weeks ago and wait for a retrace, but I don't think a retrace will come. I think everything will pump.
Yeah, I haven't really been looking at the altcoins, so
Air Cages says, I've been betting on UFC fights and it's been glorious, lol, some good edge there. You just have to really know the sport you're betting on, I guess.
yeah, that makes sense. Well, so that's an
Jay
interesting
Constant
thought.
says, Defy Hype keeps on going to pump alts.
In sports betting, you could look at price and you could do technical analysis on the price, but does anybody really think that technical analysis of the price in sports betting matters? Doesn't. So why would it matter in stocks? Hmm? Hmm? I'm starting to come around to the conclusion that when technical analysis works, that it's largely a self-fulfilling prophecy. That because people think that it does something and they trade it, that's why sometimes it ends up working.
Jay Constant says, stocks have algo bots and humans who trade according to TA.
Yeah, exactly. So, but are we saying that the only reason that technical analysis works is because there are humans and robots that think that it works? Or are there fundamental inefficiencies in the market created by market psychology? It seems to me that there are fundamental inefficiencies in the market created by market psychology, but I'm not so sure that those really matter on a short term, like minute to minute basis.
Gary Rich says, at times this channel reminds Emmy of Ellen Show or The View. What next? We exchange makeup and hairstyle tips. Step it up, TikTards.
Well, so I'm interested, Gary, in what you think about. Did you see?
Jay Constant
Hold
says,
on.
yes, there is no fib, retrace, etc. on fights, right?
Right. Did you see the thing that we were talking about yesterday about the market maker inventory cost basis that we've been trying to calculate? Were you here yesterday for that discussion? I think it was maybe before you said anything yesterday, but I've been looking at it, and at least for this trade, because I picked my spot for this trade based on that, and seems to be going okay.
Jay Constant says, I think McGregor will retrace you the 0.618.
That's so funny. I'm gonna have to look back on that. Are there people that trade sports off of technical analysis? So it's such an interesting thought. Maybe we will ask. Maybe we can ask Twitter. And just now I kind of have to think back because one of the things that has gotten a lot of what is the word,
Uzi Knesset
attention.
says, "Ok, remind me again how to import this."
Okay, I will show you. If this
Uzi Knesset says, "I saved it into the bin folder."
yeah, so let's just make sure that you got the right spot. So it'll be under Documents, NinjaTrader 8, Bin, Custom, Indicators. You put it in there.
Air Cages says you can read the line movement, I guess. Sometimes you can see a massive shift for no particular reason because of insider info like undisclosed injury, etc.
Okay. Then you go New, Editor, Indicators. Well, no, you didn't even have to do that. You just click this button
Uzi
right here.
Knesset says, "I've got it. I just dropped it in custom."
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you need to put it under Indicators. And then you should hear the sound. Okay, so it came back to my spot. Getting a lot of clicky in the mini again. Kind of tempted to try this again, but I don't want to increase my risk. I want to reduce it. Okay, well, Gary didn't say anything, so I'm just going to show you anyways. So what we're doing is we're looking at all of the orders for the price, the time period, and we're canceling them out. So like you basically think about like a footprint chart and just like you determine which way it's going to go, and then depending on which way the cumulative delta has been going, you start either from the bottom or from the top, and you just go down and you say, okay, there was like, let's just say that we're going to use this profile right here. There's 1388 that traded here, so now I want to find 1388 below matching it. So 619, 401. So we would take out everything except for this bit down here, right? Anyways, and then after all of that net, you would get a cost basis for the limit orders that don't have matches on the other side where it was profitable and they might have taken it off. How much did that cost? And you get a price level from it. That we're calling the inventory cost basis. And this was based off of somebody put on Futures.io. So I wrote it, and you get these, look in the bottom charts, and you get this thing. So it kind of will flip back and forth sometimes when there's two spots, but that's kind of like support and resistance almost, right? Like this is where earlier in the session they bought it at the beginning, right? This is where they bought it at the beginning, and then they sold it all the way from here.
Uzi Knesset says it's displaying right on my end.
Cool. Yeah, if it didn't show at all, then I would be upset. But so now the question is just, what do you see with it, and are there things that we
Uzi
can
Knesset
do?
says, "Hang on, I send you screeny."
Okay. Are there things that we can do to improve it? Can this idea be expanded upon? Yeah. Yeah, so you're showing it on a yeah. So in the indicator there's a button that says is cumulative, I believe is what it's called. And that will make it so that instead of resetting every bar, it'll do it for the whole session. So that's one thing that you can do. And then if you are going to show it on a bar by bar basis, first of all, for treasuries, I would probably use a bigger time period than 5 minutes, maybe like 15 to 30 minutes. And you can also like change the plot to be like, instead of a line, make it be a hash, for instance, because that displays on top of the candles a little bit better. But there's a couple of different ways to, well, like I show you this one. Where is it? Yeah, so that's how I have it on this one.
Uzi Knesset says I just tossed it on a default lol.
Yeah. So on this one, I have one is a cumulative, and then the other one is just the bar by bar one. And I set it up so that the plot was hashes with a magenta color so that you can see where the cost basis for each bar was. Make sense?
Gary Rich says, well, if it helps, I guess. But most of are just over analyzing stuff. It's called analysis paralysis. Learn to trade price action first, then add stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's why I've been getting into like, I feel like that I need to have like a short term fundamental driver to really want to take a trade. But I don't know. So the treasuries look pretty concerned here. I tried market making against it. It doesn't look like this is working out though. I think for the purposes of this that I'm willing to take like a really big move against me. I don't know if the E-mini is gonna. Whoa.
Uzi
Zero
Knesset says
hedge.
I send you a screenie of what I look at instead of normal charts now lol.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh. Whoa, hold on a second. That's crazy looking. Never Trump Project Lincoln Project co-founder was paid by Russian government. Tweets at Zero Hedge. Okay, that's very different. Oh, you got a ton of stuff going on there. I can't even begin to uh, tell what that is telling us. That says net change. Oh yeah, we're gonna get the Bank of Canada rate statement at the top of the hour. Forgot about that. I kind of
Uzi
ignored
Knesset
that
says
one.
that's just what I called it, not creative with names lol.
So is it based on volume?
Winston's mom says trading futures livestream, the 15th of July 2027 watching now, and will everyone please take a quick second to hit like. Thumbs up, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. By the way, guys, even when Wynn's not here and asking you
Sunday
guys to hit
Driver says bold prediction, total sum of stable coins will one day be the #1 biggest cryptocurrency.
Oh man, I was in the middle. You know what, Sunday Driver? That's a really funny. That was a great. That's a great thought. No. You guys have been doing so good with the likes. Even when Wynn's not here to tell you guys to hit like, we're getting a ton of likes every day, and yeah, it's been really good this week. And I'm super stoked about it. Yeah. So is that based on volume, Uzi? I'm or is it based on level 2? It looks like volume, but I could be wrong. I don't really have the earlier in the night level
Uzi
2.
Knesset says VWAP and close. Uzi
Oh.
Knesset says on a bar by bar basis, change based off zero line, red lines above and below are standard deviations, gray is difference between VWAP and close, and blue line is an average distance between.
Okay. So you're trading it based off of how far away it is from the VWAP. That's interesting.
Sunday Driver says, which begs the question, why crypto if everyone is going to hide in the stable coins that are pegged to the US dollar? Lol.
Right? Oh, you mean right? Well, like this is the thing that I've been trying to say though, is that I think that the value of a cryptocurrency is based off of the fundamentals of the cryptocurrency itself and not some sort of the safe haven play. And if you've been investing based off of that, I think you've been doing better. So the E-mini is kind of oscillating back and forth here. Kind of looks like maybe they're forming some sort of a spot here to try and
Uzi Knesset
turn,
says
but
so. Gray and blue is trend gauge, lime and red is simply candles on zero line. 3 reds and green lines are 3 SDS up and down for volatility up and down.
that's really interesting. And then you're not really even looking at price then, huh? I don't know. I used to trade it.
Uzi Knesset says nope, just straight volatility.
Yeah, I used to trade it a lot based off of the VWAP. And there was a time period where I did really, really well with it. And then there was a time period where it just failed absolutely miserably. I think you remember that, right? I was really early on, huh? Wow, GovTrader took the ZN long at 139.04. That's a pretty good trade. Guess I could have done that when we were down at the bottom and I was like, oh, I would like it to come back to 06 and then sell it. And look, they've gone like way through me. And the E-mini still is kind of acting weak. We'll get the Bank of Canada here. Get that out of the way. That might help.
Uzi Knesset says I can get micro analyze with it and trade the VWAP stuff, but I just use it as a bias gauge.
Right. But then are you fading volatility? Is that if you get a really, really big change and then you want to reverse that? Do you try and trade it that way or do you? So it seems like lately that would probably be the right call in the treasury. So we've been kind of, okay, so quite a bit of flickering around in the book, but I don't actually see any orders going off based off of the Canadian data. They hold rates at 0.25% as expected.
Uzi Knesset says sometimes, I don't do it a lot because I suck at it. I mostly go off the trend gauge, the gray blue, and try to catch an SD in the direction of the trend.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, the E-mini is trading up a little bit since the news. President Trump, people are feeling good about our country. Okay. I'd have to see the context of that comment. That just seems like an incredibly odd thing for the Hill to tweet about.
Uzi Knesset says I mean, the simple way to look at it is a modified MACD using different data points with candles plotted over the zero line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a MACD based off of how far you are from the VWAP rather than how far away you are from the moving average. It just looks super crazy. It looks super crazy, that picture. Let me show you guys. I didn't show you guys. Looks super crazy.
Uzi Knesset says the blue lines above and below are maximum points I drew myself for how far above and below the VWAP price has gone. Uzi Knesset says they aren't part of the indicator lol.
Oh, really? I see what you're talking about.
Uzi Knesset says you are on the wrong screen by the way if you're trying to show people lol.
A little bit of a something there in the E-mini. was pulling on the bid. Bunch pulled on the bid. They're still reading the Bank of Canada remarks. Pompeo says she made a choice to violate promises on Hong Kong. They're pushing down in the E-mini. So the issue I have now is they could come all the way back to 12. Right? In the 10-year. Okay. E-mini is being really wild here. I need to open up Thinkorswim again here. How is Tesla doing off of that? Sorry, screen should go black. It's pretty whippy in the E-mini at the moment. You got an outside bar down there. And this next bar is pretty big.
Uzi Knesset says you should be bringing your average sale price up on your zinc rate and out.
So I can see here it looks like Goldman Sachs giving back some of its gains in the initial. Of course, the wider market is down, so that doesn't surprise me. And I do see that Tesla is down a little bit. They dipped below the 1500 briefly. Pompeo says U.S. 2 set visa restrictions on Huawei and others. So that's not necessarily good. Tell you what, the way that the Treasury's bid up lately is a little concerning, isn't it? You should be bringing your average sell price up on your ZN trade. Well, I'm thinking about taking another 2 here. In fact, I think I will do 09. And we'll try 9.5. Let's try it. I get what you're saying. There's going to be some resistance around the 09 area. So, Pompeo is going to the UK and Denmark next week. Why Denmark? I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get the other order down here filled. So I was doing like from here, I think I took one here and here, and then I got here, or was it here and here? Anyways, one of them filled, but then the other one didn't. I'm a little disappointed about that. I don't know. It's really weird to me that what looked to me like standard pullbacks in the E-mini is causing as strong of a reaction in the treasuries as it is. Especially since, for a long time there, the treasuries didn't do anything. Like there was one day that was really bad where the treasuries barely moved at all. I'm trying to remember when that was. But lately they've been tracking it almost tick for tick. S&P report U.S. corporate downgrades reach new high in second quarter of 2020. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Which one was it? I was at 808 half and 09, right? Because just them trading that already. Um, yeah, 09 half. Okay. See, like that one, the E-mini came back 4 points, and the treasuries ticked up like 4 ticks. Like, what the heck? I think that I think that I read that area incorrectly, and the market maker pulled there. Okay, so now we're seeing an iceberg there. Seeing something here. $463 in ZB. Oh, wow. Goldman says it took a $155 million hit on Hertz bankruptcy.
Uzi Knesset says I dunno man, I could probably use that inventory indicator even on a small time frame.
Even on a 1 minute? Bunch of bids pulled again in the E-mini. They push it higher though in the end.
Uzi Knesset says I dunno about that small, I tend to draw the line at 5s lol.
5s. Yeah, that's the thing, is that it's like on a 1 minute basis, you might only get one price traded.
Uzi Knesset says if not for nothing else then precision entries with low risk reference points for stops.
Mm. My guy on my squawk is talking a lot this morning, but there's not actually like a whole lot important going on. At least in my opinion. But there is the oil thing.
Uzi Knesset says like depending on how you view price, it isn't hard to play even a 5-minute bar for a few quick ticks.
Okay. Well, maybe in ZB.
Uzi Knesset says it's tougher when viewing it in original candle format.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at the 5-year. Trading off of the E-mini. Walmart will require all shoppers
Uzi
to
Knesset
wear
says
a
sorry,
face
I'm
covering
rambling
starting July
disappointed.
20. You're rambling? No, you're fine. I don't know. Like I would just say if you see something in where it ends, where you thought it was useful, take a picture of it, and we'll save a couple of them. And then if we really start to see some sort of a pattern, we can try and come up with a back test for it. Will be interesting to me if they get back to 12. And there's a lot of hawkishness with respect to China today.
Uzi Knesset says it's a very interesting concept, I'll tell ya that much.
I am a little curious about what's going on in the treasuries here. Why, over the past, I would say, week and a half, that they've been reacting to downside action in the E-mini so strongly. It's like they're way more risk adverse all of a sudden. You know? Hmm. So this is a pretty good move there in the E-mini. It does look like maybe it's turning around and that it's turning bullish again, but hmm.
Juvence Soccer says, does this guy actually make money? Prakash Praku says, hi bros, good morning.
No. Sometimes. I forgot my common response to that is sometimes. Today we're doing a little bit of an experiment, so we don't necessarily expect to make money on this. Kind of testing a few things out.
Prakash Praku says, hello Seth bro, happy trading.
Good morning. I think it's gonna be difficult trading for you guys today. I mean, I do think that this is gonna come back up in the E-mini, but it's gonna be tough. Like even if they decide to extend past the overnight highs. Well, they're about to get back to the open, so that's good. But again, last time that we were here, back at the open, treasuries were a good 4 ticks down. Now we're back up here. Treasuries haven't given up their gains at all. Senate Democrats super PAC has spent $15 million to successfully block out progressive candidates in open primaries and clear the way for Schumer's picks. Much of the money has come from Wall Street billionaires, corporate interests, and labor unions. Interesting. The marketer says
Juven's Soccer says, what time do you start and end your live stream?
I usually start around 8:20 Eastern time.
Prakash Praku says, be cheerful, bro. Smile is suitable on
Thank
your
you.
face.
About 8:20 to, usually 10:30, but because we've been working from home lately, I've been able to actually go till about 11:30. So okay, they kind of brushed up with the open there, but they didn't push through it. A little bit of a pullback. Well, I tell you what, it would be disappointing if they failed the open and went back to the lows. Okay. Florida virus cases coming up next, but there's questions about the positivity rate, says Forex Live. Lindsey Graham is retweeting his video of him saying Democrats have shown the lengths they will go to keep power. Boy, I hope they never get it. And he's tweeting that today. That's really interesting. Hmm. Man, is this going to show up every 10 minutes? The meme world is already picking up on this Walmart thing. Well, look, there's your level break set up at 09.5. I wonder how much is going to trade there. Moderna shares reached a record as early results from its COVID-19 vaccine set stock markets on fire. Here's what analysts are saying. There we go. Household pulse survey fell another 1.3 million last week alone. Now it's fallen 2.6 million cumulatively over the past 3 weeks. Seasonality and survey noise may be factors, but the HBS did an excellent job of anticipating the June jobs report. And for its life is tweeting the question, is there going to be a negative U.S. jobs in July? Pompeo is still speaking, apparently. That might be part of the problem that we're having here is that they're all bidding up because they're afraid that Pompeo is going to start a war here or something. Oh, here comes the oil inventories. Okay, they finally decided to take it a push over the open. Okay, here comes the oil report. Sounds like they're getting a draw. Ooh, look at that stack at 09. Do you see that? You see that stack at 09? The Tesla call buying scheme is not working again today. Tweet zero hedge. And yeah, I see that Tesla is not doing so hot. Also, I'm a little disappointed in how far Goldman Sachs came back down, as they opened at 225 and they've come all the way down to 217. Also, interestingly enough, China's been talking about doing stuff to Lockheed Martin, and oh well, somebody bought that at 09. Okay, if you want. That's interesting. Anyways, the China's been talking about doing something to Lockheed Martin, but they're up today, which I don't get. I don't understand that situation enough, apparently. Okay, well, they're looking excited over here in the E-mini now. They're going to go for that regular session high, I think. I'm getting lots of clicks and working on the book. The treasuries have been putting out some big orders, like there was a big order at 09.5 and 09 for a moment there as well. I can see big orders. Big orders on the offer showing up. like 2,000 lots, in fact.
Sunday Driver says, hear anything good about the Aston microphone?
I have never heard of that. Aston. Here's Florida. Okay, it rises 3.5% versus a 7-day average of 4.5%, although it is slightly higher than yesterday. So far, markets seem to be saying risk on. Florida boasts 112 daily COVID-19 deaths among residents. Iceberg at 09, huh? He's thinking about it. Okay, a little bit of a stop run. That's a little better. That looks really, really positive. Now we're busting through an area that was resistance on our way down here. And we got on the upside, we got like 32.
Live Action says 1,000 lots hitting offer on ZN and S still bid.
Sunday Driver says, I'm
Right?
trying to build a home studio, gaming, tech center. With everyone at home, they must have the same idea. Microphones, audio interfaces, etc. are hard to find or asking top dollar prices.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've never heard of the Aston microphones. Honestly, Sunday, just about any, if you're going with XLR mics, just about any XLR mic is gonna be like if you're looking dynamic microphone, even those Shure SM7Bs or whatever. Is that what they're called? Let me get the right one. No, not the SM7B. Maybe it's the 57. The 57 is one. It's one that you could do. Anyways, any of those Sures really. There's a couple of Sures that are pretty cheap and like only $100. Those are all great because really, when you're bringing in internet compression into the scheme, most people aren't going to notice the better quality, essentially. So.
Live action says order flow saying no new high but RTY not paying attention.
Well, they're definitely, I mean, they got a couple of stops up there, but, look at the 400s up there around the 32.28 level. And look at the Treasury. Treasury's still kind of hanging out around this 09.5 spot. There was a lot of activity there. Oh no, my indicator crashed, I think. Oh no, it's still there. It's just like way high. Cool. Okay, I'm getting clicking again.
Sunday Driver says Aston microphones are made in the UK. That's good.
Gotcha. Man, people are really gonna. I bet you that Facebook is gonna be all over this. Walmart requires customer face masks in stores.
Sunday Driver says okay sign thumbs up.
Now, if you're gonna stream, I really think that new Elgato mic is the one to get right now, because your ability to manage multiple audio streams is what makes that one special. But if you're just looking for something to like talk to people with, it's not a huge deal. Might even look at, especially if you're going to have people in close proximity, I would look at getting those nice XLR, like helicopter headset type things. Those can give really good quality, and then you don't get the crosstalk from this person sitting next to you.
Sunday Driver says podcasters I trust for good reviews weren't
Really?
crazy about the Elgato.
Nah, I think so quality wise is going to be about on par with your Blue, and the new features of it make it really useful for podcasting. Because otherwise, to get the same functionality, you're going to have to get a Go XLR. If you have a Go XLR, then no point. But if you're not going to get a Go XLR, then I think you go for the Elgato. And I can almost guarantee you that Elgato is going to be the leading microphone in the space now. All of the streamers are going to get that, use that. Unless they already have something better, like a SM7B or something. Got that trend in the E-mini.
Sunday Driver says could be. I tried to see if the Elgato was available.
Yeah, I
sold
bet it
out
was
like
all
all the
sold
rest.
out.
Lol.
People want it for sure. I mean, it's the new cool thing. Okay, so we had a good amount of volume trading around the 09 half area. The treasury is kind of just like chilled out. I'm not seeing like big icebergs or movement or anything now. Forming nursing assistant at a Veterans Affairs facility in West Virginia admitted in federal court that she injected elderly patients with lethal doses of insulin, killing 7 of them. That's awful. I'm kind of afraid to get old, man. Like, and be in a nursing home and like, not be taken well care of. Ugh. Well, it's a long time before that happens. Hopefully I never have to do that. I'll just get hospice care and they can use me in my home instead. Come on, take it. 26.3. Okay, 3,000 to hold the 09. It looks to me so we are now pushing new lows in cumulative delta in the 10-year, by the way. So there's a lot of market selling going on here so far. I think they will eventually break, but I mean the E-mini is on one of its crazy trends again. Look at the way this thing is moving. It's slow, but it's just steady up. This down right here from the high is actually the biggest pullback that we've had so far in the E-mini. I gotta tell you, like this right here, that's just in the E-mini, seems unnatural to me. In the bottom right, just to be like the moving average so smooth up one way, unnatural. It's unnatural. Let's see here. Bank of Canada has a press conference at the top of the hour. They're pulling at 08 half. L800. See, this is going to be one of those spots. I think that in this case, it's just luck of the draw for me. But this is a spot where I would be like, oh yeah, we're like totally going to go higher. Let's try the level break. And then it comes down. And I'm like, oh no, 08 half is holds. And then all of a sudden it trades down from 08 half on nothing.
PRTRADERSOS says lending rate B of C 0.25.
Correct. They're going to have, I don't know if they're going to say anything really all that market moving in their press conference, but I'm noticing that the news guys are paying a lot of attention to it today because there's not really a whole lot of other fundamental news. Well, then the Pompeo thing, that is important, but the Pompeo thing doesn't seem to have had a long-term impact, so. BlackRock's Rick Ryder sold Tesla shares around $1,000, he said Wednesday on CNBC. Okay. So that was a way back. Well, Tesla is still struggling today.
PRTRADERSOS says very arrogant for BIV to think they can hold above zero.
BF. Not sure what you mean by that. Bank of Canada.
PRTRADERSOS says they have spent so much.
Well, I don't know. Right now, it doesn't seem to me like that the market needs a rate decrease, you know? But they seem to have ways of calculating that I don't understand. Because I tell you, like, the amount of money that they inject, I want to know, how do they determine how much money they need to inject into the economy? Because it seems that they know exactly how much they need. This is an old story. So First Squawk is tweeting hospital coronavirus data in the U.S. now to be routed via Trump administration bypassing CDC reporting. This is an old story that I read last night. And I was reading into this, and apparently the CDC is not actually a government. The CDC Foundation is not a government organization. And that's why they want to bypass it. Okay, so I do see some signs of market makers selling it here in the E-mini. No fundamental reason for me to think that the party's over, though. Well, I guess the Treasury's still holding up fairly well. See if they trade back down again.
PRTRADERSOS says do you ever reset your DOM?
You know, in the Treasury's usually not. In the equities, sometimes I will. Like, if we started a downturn, I would be interested. Like, here would be a good spot to, like, if I clear the downside trades so that I can see what was the maximum pullback that they made. But generally speaking, I don't really care. Honestly, I'm more interested in how much it trades for it to take it up or down on those numbers. And like which one it stays at more. You know, like they took 09 bid and 08 half was pulling, but they didn't really aggressively push it there.
PRTRADERSOS says or do you run to S-storms and reset only one?
No. One is the micro and one is the main E-mini.
Luis Alarid says GMPR.
Hey Lewis, how are you? Lewis, he's here almost every day. We appreciate him so much. Okay, Adam Ozimek. Never heard of this guy. But Ian Shepherdson is retweeting him. If you're a China hawk, you should understand this as their biggest weakness, and it is very easy for us to exacerbate it by letting in as many Chinese immigrants as we can. Note, if China was wise, they'd do the same and let
PRTRADERSOS
immigrants
says hey
themselves.
Luis.
How populations of selected countries might change. So he's saying that China's biggest weakness is their exploding population growth. USD JPY trend lower continues. Yeah, the JPY has been moving up.
Luis Alarid says,
today.
Seth, I invited PR from another room last night.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you very much. Well, he's already talking about. So he has a. I thought it was very curious that he had a strong opinion on what the lending rate from the Bank of Canada should be. I was like, okay,
PRTRADERSOS says, I've been looking for us trades.
yeah. Well, not a whole lot of people are super interested in treasuries, especially these days, right? I'm still interested in treasuries, but today I'm trading it on an experiment more than anything. So I don't know if this is going to turn out before I have to go. Kind of looks like it's not going to. I think maybe later in the day they might come back down, but for now it doesn't look good for it, does it? So the whole time I was looking for them to trade the '06 and then turn back down, but they didn't. They went right through it. And they went right through it based off of equity weakness. But then you get this thing where the equities are back up. For now, they're not new highs, but they went back up pretty strongly. And the treasury is still sitting up here at 09.5. Pompeo must have said something there that the E-mini doesn't like. So it just kind of broke the standard range. Freaking Utah. The biggest story in Utah right now is that Post Malone is in Utah. It's like, who cares? That's the best news story you got to go with today, guys? Okay, well, this was a pretty strong pullback in the E-mini, but they seem to be handling it okay so far. Now they're still bidding in the 10-year. Look at that. Keep an 09.5 bid. Oh, look at that. Wonder if there's some news driving that one. Hmm. Oh, 9.5 went offer and 09 is pulling now. China Foreign Ministry says it summons U.S. ambassador to China over Hong Kong Autonomy Act. Ooh, my contact just flipped on me there. Getting a little frustrated with this over here. So it's been sitting here since almost for an hour now. We've been sitting here almost for an hour. Foreign Ministry says we'll take necessary measures, including sanctions against relevant U.S. entities and individuals. Chrissy Teigen deleted 60,000 tweets last night after people accused her of being a pedophile with ties to Epstein. Who's that?
Uzi Knesset says trading like that gets annoying lol. I forgot to mention that part haha.
Right? Well, the 10-year has just not been the best trade lately. Okay, well, they're going to stop me out in the E-mini. So they're turning back down. Never heard of this girl. American Model. Sports Illustrated. Probably they stop me out and they continue back up in the E-mini for all I know. I don't know about this. There was a decent amount of volume that traded around the open at 22.22. You can see it pretty clearly in the volume profile. But just seems kind of like the volume is a little random in the E-mini. And you're getting these swings that to me don't make a whole lot of sense. But the treasuries continue to remain strongly bid. Biden to boost auto industry through federal procurement of clean vehicles and incentives for manufacturers to make zero emission cars. Okay, why are they selling like that? Biden outlines $202 trillion climate plan to be deployed in his first term. Yeah.
PRTRADERSOS says anyone use Stock Labs for news.
Uzi Knesset says
I've
what to do. If you're
never.
trading a huge sim account, just offer 100 contracts and bring that average price closer to the market and bid out lol.
Yeah. I don't want to go more than 4. I'm limiting myself to 4 contracts. And I took 2 of them in here, so what you gonna do? I don't know. I don't read the news flow that's coming out as incredibly negative. I'm trying to understand why the treasuries seem so agitated. They just seem to be expecting something, don't they? Of course, I don't think that there was necessarily anything in the order flow down here that told us for sure that it was going to go up like that, but there's definitely been some interest in the 090 area. That's for sure. You gonna go for that low? Well, remember when I was saying earlier, if they went for that low again, that it would be really disappointing? Okay. This- Yuck. Yuck. Well, they're gonna go.
Octavius C says, did you ever take a look at TNU20?
Uzi Knesset says
Is
it's
that
technically
the Ultra
cheating, but you're
10?
pretending to be a market maker. LMAO.
Live Action says, have to
Yeah.
love these inverse markets. S moves 10 handles to ZN1 tick. Kevin Wimmer says, no trade today for me. Couldn't get a good grasp of the action. Wanted to long the gap fill in the Amini, but didn't go there, and then suddenly Corona news. And crude one day before rollover, so ugly. Actio.
I don't really see Corona news, but it seems unusually bearish, doesn't it? Well, I'll try one more here.
Octavius C says, Ultra 10 year.
Yeah.
Kevin Wimmer says, I still think you could take a look at the Bund. Even though you start way later. Could be your market.
Yeah. Well, the Bund I would have to pay for different data. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Was afraid of that. And now I'm still holding it. That sucks. If I was afraid of that, why did I take that one? Well, the E-mini's flipping around here actually on us. So that's curious. 2331. Is the Treasury gonna touch 12? I'm gonna really kick myself if they touch 12. Maybe the bearishness is just Secretary Pompeo. I don't know. Pence to host call with House GOP conference at 3 p.m. Is this over stimulus? Election strategy? Coronavirus strategy? It must be over coronavirus and stimulus strategy. Because Pence is supposed to be in charge of the coronavirus thing, right? Okay, I do finally get the trend going my way, so I did finally pick a spot that was correct. That doesn't mean this is going to work out, but I think I have a pretty good chance of getting at least like third to the 22 area. Put one there. And when you look at it from that direction, these moves are starting to look pretty big, aren't they? The chart pattern that I see in the 5-year, like let's just assuming that we go in higher. Assuming that we go back up to like 22 to 20 the 32-30 area. I bet you there's going to be a lot of technical and analysts out there confused. Okay, the OPEC meeting is done. I don't know if Secretary Pompeo is still talking, but now the 5-year's got an iceberg on the offer. So now here's where I'll just clear the whole thing. Probably missing a couple of comments, huh? We had the incredible buy from basically the low of the day because of the Oxford vaccine news. Column rotation. If not down, we go volume on column. Hong Kong issue. Yeah, I don't know. So, like, one of the things that's really interesting about the markets this week is that the things that seem to be driving the market aren't like new news hitting the markets. Like there's definitely stuff going on. Um, but like the things that they seem to be responding to are things that we already knew. Like that we're going to get a vaccine at a certain point and that things aren't going so well with China and you know? PR Trader says 100%. Yeah. So it's really interesting in that respect. Because before that, we had a market that I felt was extremely driven by news. Like it was like, okay, vaccine news, vaccine headline came out today, we're up. Something bad happened today, we go down. And now they're kind of battling it out. It seems to me like basically what's happened is I think Jim Cramer put it really well yesterday, although I disagree about the different camps, but he said there's like 4 different camps based on whether you're concerned or not concerned about new cases and concerned or not concerned about a vaccine. Well, I think there's also a camp that's concerned or not concerned about falling off a cliff because of the jobless benefits expiring at the end of the month. And there's another camp concerned about global growth going forward because of uh, tensions between the US and China. And I think that we've come to a point in the E-mini where these two groups are kind of battling it out. And it looks like one will make a temporary victory one day. But here you can see, like yesterday, the Bulls definitely ended up winning in the end, even though it was a rough fight. And here you can see the Bulls pushing it back down very aggressively. So yeah. I mean, like overall, we're a good 5-10,000 contracts short on the E-mini. So if the buyers are able to hold this and pull it out, you could have some great run for the highs, but I don't know what's going to happen. The 10-year doesn't seem to think that that's going to happen, I think. The 10-year seems to be betting that this is just a down day, I think. And it tick up again. 10 half. Pompeo's still talking. That's what we need we need him to shut up. Hmm. Little clicky with offers pulling. It's getting tight in the E-mini, and it might get an outside bar here, though. Looks like there's a good chance of getting an outside up bar here in the E-mini. Yep, you can see somebody's fighting over it. Seconds. It's probably not going to close above it, but. Huh, so that doesn't end up being an outside bar? What? It counts in my book. It was the lows were equal. Arizona coronavirus cases rise 2.5% versus a prior 7-day average of 2.9%. So still lower than expected in Arizona. Beginning of the week. Jigsaw coming out with charts next month. Well, have they said something new? I know that they were talking about it, testing it in here in July, but I haven't heard anything. They send out a new email. I know that it's super close. Hmm. Ouch. They're reacting to the coronavirus cases there? Think you should consider moving a few points a winner, or B, move your stop to break even after the market moves decently in your favor. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what my deal is over here. This one was a test, and it's just gonna go. It's probably gonna go all the way to 12. I think it's gonna go all the way to 12. In the MES, I think that's it for me today. Yep. I guess I could presumably take another one, but I don't see how I can take a buy unless something crazy happens. But this one in the treasuries, I'm just gonna hold it until we close down, and what it's at is what it's at. But it seems to me my conclusion overall though was that the way that my prediction about how the 10-year was going to go did not play out at all. It was just dead wrong, and I'm not sure I completely understand the risk off sentiment, but I'll look at that. I can't pass up on that one. Right now, I'm looking for a buy because we had a big down move without a decent pullback. Oh, you want to see some? Yeah. Tell you what though, in terms of it, especially when someone's the Pompeo thing is, yeah. I'm just I'm hmm, I know. I've seen times when Secretary Pompeo was speaking and it wasn't a big deal before. And I really don't feel like that he's saying anything new. So that's why I'm like, I don't get it. But whatever. I'll take that like that. It also seems to me like the Arizona cases is good. So I'm surprised that they're not buying it off of the Arizona cases like they did yesterday. Well, they're not pretty good. I guess they're pretty much a wash, really. The Arizona cases. Okay. And the other thing that's kind of funny about this whole thing was that before the downtrend started, when we had our original long, it was an unnatural bull. You know? This right here is pretty strong too. But here again, the treasuries don't seem to be responding. I don't know. I'm probably going to keep those open. I'm going to wonder, I kind of wonder what happens if you just keep that until the close. Because it wouldn't be the first time this week where much after the European close, there's a much bigger move up, you know? In fact, that's happened many, many times. Huh? The London traders close their positions and then we're up ever after that. Okay. Wow. So now this is turning into some real stop run. The way this is trading around, like especially at the bottom, and the way that it just went right there, seems to me like there is some really extreme FOMO going around. You know, like I bet you that a lot of the day traders on the equity side are really frustrated by this. I mean, I've been frustrated by this action, sure. I don't know. It's mostly just been that this one down move that we've had. But I've been frustrated by the treasuries. I don't understand why the treasuries have been up as much as they have been, right? I bet you that the retail traders are just like out of their mind. This is the kind of action that we've been predicting that is difficult for the retail traders to trade. And I did okay with it yesterday. I've struggled with it today. Ignore the ZN trade. I've struggled with it over here in the E-mini. One more test of 211 MES and going long. Well, they came well above that. I'll tell you that. Shouldn't you increase your time horizon? Why? I mean, these kind of swings, I think, are the kind of thing that I would like to catch. I just wish that it was a little bit more in line with the fundamentals. This looks like more like position jockeying more than anything. If you see something out of line with the fundamentals, isn't that an opportunity for longer term trades? Oh, right. Well, yes and no. It depends on how serious of a thing it is, right? Because I think right now, what's going on is I'm seeing some fundamentals, but I think that the stuff that we're seeing overall is kind of small, right? I should stress that I believe that a lot of what we're seeing is that there seems to be an indecisive market. There are bulls and bears, and they're jockeying for position. They're trying to push each other out, and you got all of this unusual number of day traders now that are basically like that are basically trying to chase it. So think of it as like, here's a wall. Like this is where your market maker has all of his stuff and he wants to take it long. And then here's this wrecking ball. Okay. And the wrecking ball comes up and normally it just barely touches it and it comes back. But now what happens is you've got all of these retail traders coming right behind it. So you got the wrecking ball. And then all of a sudden, after it comes back like this, all of the retail traders swinging behind it come in and bust through the wall. And then they get stopped out and it goes back the other way. So you get in these really kind of frustrating swings. Well, that last run up was really strong readings on the tick. But the treasury's still not coming back. Bunch of I responded to something on one of Scott Adams' posts and like a ton of people have been saying stuff. They seem to think that I'm disagreeing with him, but I'm gonna have to argue with them a little bit here, apparently, though. Hmm. Okay, so there's a pullback. See if it holds or not. You're getting quite a bit. So even here, where it's a pullback, notice the amount of wrangling around that it does. Hmm. Well, it looks like I don't have enough time to play this thing all the way out. Lots of people watching. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Well, so I don't know if this e-mini trade will work out. I'm gonna try holding this throughout the day and see if they come back. But it seems to me that this experiment failed. We need to look at it a little bit further. And I could have perhaps tried of taking it going long there and seeing if it would go back up to 12. But man, at the time, that just seemed so unlikely to me. And I really am quite surprised that the treasuries are up as much as they are. It seems to me like there would have to be some other demand driver in the treasuries to move them up than just what's going on in the E-mini. But I could be wrong. It could just be the E-mini. I don't know. But there must be a lot of things that I'm not aware of. And man, the E-mini does just seem incredibly bearish. So there could be, maybe some more information that I'm going to get later that changes the situation. We'll see. But it happens. So I will, and a lot of this is experimentation anyway, so whatever. I wonder if I would have taken that how I would have managed that treasury trade if I was really taking this seriously. Okay, so I should go. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, stay prosperous.